Well, good morning, guys. Welcome to Wednesday of this week. In just, I guess, typical Wednesday fashion, today is a really short lesson indeed. So this is going to be a kind of a short and quick one today, but a very important one also when we talk about like the stages of like human progress when it comes to agriculture. So yesterday we looked at the first agricultural revolution, right? And the first agricultural revolution centers on the idea of just the birth of agriculture in general, right? Which after it is born gradually around the world and developed gradually around the world, it is for subsistence purposes, right? Not for profit. But a big change takes place in agriculture with the what we call the second agricultural revolution that takes place right around the early 1700s, or starts at least around the early 1700s. It sort of dovetails and benefits from the Industrial Revolution in the sense that the second agricultural revolution witnessed improved methods of cultivation, of harvesting, and of storage of farm produce. So this revolution moved agriculture beyond subsistence to generate the kinds of surpluses that are needed to feed thousands of people working in factories instead of in agricultural fields. So essentially, then, with the second agricultural revolution, what we're looking at here is the development of industrialized agriculture, right? And so, again, it lines up perfectly with the Industrial Revolution. And if it lines up perfectly with the Industrial Revolution, then we can all pretty much assume, and assume correctly, that the second agricultural revolution, like the Industrial Revolution, started in Britain and from Great Britain will quickly diffuse throughout Europe initially, and then later on the rest of the world. Part of the second agricultural revolution is looking at farms being consolidated into these large single owner holdings, for one thing. Also, methods of soil preparation, fertilization, crop care, and harvesting are going to improve. For example, if you're taking a look at the visual here on your screen, you're looking at a machine of this age known as the seed drill. And what the seed drill enabled farmers to do was to avoid wasting seeds, to plant in essentially perfect rows. That, of course, is going to go along with the development of new fertilizers that were used on crops. We began giving artificial feed to livestock, fatten them up a little bit quicker. And speaking of livestock, with domesticated animals, we're going to see advances in breeding livestock, which will enable farmers to essentially develop new breeds that were either strong milk producers or livestock that was good for the production of beef. For example, the visual that you're looking at here on your screen right now, this is a cow that you guys all kind of know. This is kind of a standard dairy cow. But this is not a cow that kind of just normally occurs in nature. This is a cow that was developed by farmers, by human beings, crossbreeding certain breeds of cows in order to develop essentially this human creation that is very adept at creating and producing a lot more milk than most cows tend to do. This was a product of the second agricultural revolution as well. Um, Also, the railroad helped to sustain the second agricultural revolution because it helped move agriculture into new regions, such as, for example, in the United States, into the Great Plains. Yeah. And it allowed us to kind of, get involved in commercial agriculture for profit for the first time, because you could grow crop at home and then, due to the speed of rail travel, could actually ship your produce long distances to other markets far away in order to make profit off of it. Yeah. The bottom line is this: increased agricultural let me try that again. It's a little early in the morning still. Increased agricultural output made it possible to feed larger urban populations. Yeah. Increased agricultural output made it possible to feed larger urban populations. In a lot of ways, this ties to demographic transition, doesn't it? Right? So many things come back to the Industrial Revolution, right? Because the Industrial Revolution is what spiked population, right? It sent us into demographic transition, right? High birth rates, but much lower death rates, right? And so, in order to feed these higher populations, we need to change in agriculture, and we get it through the second agricultural revolution, right? Which enables us to feed much larger urban populations during this time. At the same time, though, food shortages would continue to be more and more of an issue as population continues to grow over time. And so it's a third agricultural revolution that's going to address those shortages, and we will talk about that revolution tomorrow. Told you it was a short lesson, clocking in at about 6 minutes today. Certainly, you've got some other classes that you're going to be working on as well, so no tears on this. But that does it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow for talking about agricultural revolution number 3.